All right, so this video is about the version 3.0. After enough playtesting, again, enough changed, and then it was also just getting to the point where stuff was starting to not change as much, so stopping to change, which meant it was time to get a more permanent prototype that was a little more tactile, a little more physical, get a little bit of basic artwork done, and move away from just paper scraps. Because you can only test so much with that before that becomes a detracting factor that actually impacts how you feel the game, which again was what I was starting to test in the second round of playtesting. But basically, yeah, it was a big, significant change from just scraps of paper to a more real prototype feel, or not a published feel, but a actual functional game that can convey the basic thoughts and feelings of the game. Again, it wasn't starting to change too much between each playtest. Wanted to get a real live copy that I could actually get people to focus on and make it so that it wasn't just distracting or detracting from the experience. So I did some basic artwork, basic graphic design. Again, I just did it all myself. The goal was not to really, create a fully published, ready artwork, but instead just enough to convey the basic idea, the concept. I'm no artist and didn't want to pretend to be one, and since my goal was to get this published anyways, the final artwork is likely to change. So not worth spending money or time, or a lot of money or time on it. But again, yeah, that's kind of all about the physical prototype. As far as game changes, I did decide to go with what I called the full luck version, where you weren't just limited on the number of tiles you could draw, so that each time you have to decide if you're gonna do one more and risk losing what you have. And again, I continued adjusting the numbers of monsters, hazards, and gems and dirts in each tier just to get that taken care of. But at this point, the values were staying pretty similar. I just kept striving for a good balance in scores and progress. Anyways, so I'll kind of talk about what I did for the prototype. First thing I did was created the basic artwork or digital assets. For the most part, I used Canva. They've got a great free portion of it, and I also took advantage of a free month trial for the Pro to get some of this artwork on there and looking, like I said, a very basic, okay level. Yeah, it took a little bit of time, not a ton, and like I said, I'm not an artist, so I didn't really want to that's not what I'm focusing on. But yeah, so I did everything, created it all digitally for the different sizes, and then printed it out just on regular paper. I did do it in color because that was important to me for the feel of the game. I ended up ordering little wood tiles off of Amazon. They're 2 inches by 2 inches. I was originally going to go with cardboard, but once I got on and was trying to just find the cheapest, most affordable option, turns out wood tiles were the cheapest, even cheaper than cardboard. For whatever reason that is, I'm not sure, but that's what it was, and so that's what I did. I also just ordered a small pack of blank mini cards and some actual little gems that felt a little cooler than just little letter beads from Walmart. So got a bag of like 600 random colors for like $5 and separated out the ones that I needed, that I thought looked cool. So anyways, after printing out the papers, there's a lot of cutting and time spent with some scissors and glue sticks. So I just ended up, gluing them on here, and here's a few examples of what they looked like. Here's one from tier 2 and a little monster there. And as you can see, even though I said, stuff wasn't changing too much, there were some values I didn't end up changing, and some you just use a little bit of sticky note to change what the value was as I continued testing things. But yeah, basically just a bunch of scissors and glue sticks, and actually got some family members to help, so that sped up the process a little bit. That was great. And same thing on the cards, and did just little pieces of paper, glued them on there. There's a few I didn't have the right quantity of and didn't want to go reprint everything, so I just kind of wrote new ones on pencil as things slightly changed. But again, these were just simple, easy changes that didn't disrupt the game too much. Here's just a couple more examples of, just paper glued onto the card. And that worked great for the purposes of what I was trying to do. Just stored everything in, Ziploc bags. So it kind of looked like this. Had a few of those and then put everything in one bag. So yeah, that's kind of version 3.0, the changes, the prototype. It was very exciting because I finally had something physical to play with and hold and see if the stacking was actually an issue. If the stacks were too tall, it would be easy to bump and knock over, or if there were any other issues with that. And then it also finally started feeling like a game. I mean, the pieces of paper were great and they were testable for mechanics and function. And now it was starting to get into the feel and excitement of a game, which in my opinion is one of the more important parts. As long as it's fun and interesting and the mechanics work, that's great. As soon as it starts feeling more, that's what really drives me to go play a game. That's what differentiates games, I think. So anyways, yeah, that was version 3.0.